The Flute of Pride. In the heart of the great kingdom of Bantu, there was a man named Kasengo, known far and wide as the king's flutist. Kasengo's skill with the flute was unmatched, his melodies capable of bringing both joy and tears to all who heard him play. For years, he was the pride of the kingdom, always at the king's side during grand feasts and ceremonies. His music elevating every occasion to something truly extraordinary. One year, the king embarked on an international journey to strengthen alliances with distant lands, and Kasengo was chosen to accompany him. It was the first time Kasengo had ever left the kingdom, and the sights and sounds of foreign lands filled him with awe. The people in this distant court praised him endlessly, showering him with gifts and admiration. By the time he returned to Bantu, Kasengo was no longer the humble flutist he once was. Pride has taken root in his heart. His father, elders, and even friends tried advising him, but all fell on deaf ears. Back in Bantu, the king announced a grand feast to celebrate their successful journey. The feast was to be the largest the kingdom had ever seen, with dignitaries from across the land invited to attend. Naturally, the king expected Kasengo to play his flute, to once again fill the palace with his enchanting melodies. But Kasengo, swollen with pride and a desire to test how much he was truly valued, concocted a deceitful plan. He spread word that he had fallen gravely ill and died. The kingdom mourned the loss of their beloved flutist, and the king was devastated, for he knew the feast would be incomplete without Kasengo's music. As preparations for the feast continued, word reached the king of a young boy named Cheta, who came from a neighboring community every market day to play his flute. The villagers spoke of the boy's talent in hushed tones, saying his music was like the wind through the trees, soft, pure, and full of life. Desperate to fill the void left by Kasengo's death, the king summoned Cheta to the palace. The boy, nervous but determined, arrived with his simple flute. When the time came, Cheta took a deep breath and began to play. The notes floated through the air, carrying a melody so pure and beautiful that it brought tears to the eyes of all who listened, including the king. The king, moved by the boy's talent, stood up and declared, "Cheta, you shall be crowned the Flute King of Bantu. Your music has brought life back to this feat and joy to our hearts." Meanwhile, in a remote corner of the kingdom, Kasengo heard the news. Panic gripped him as he realized the gravity of his actions. He had faked his death, expecting to be mourned and missed, but instead he had been replaced. Desperate to reclaim his position, Kasengo rushed to the palace, throwing himself before the king's feet. "Your Majesty, forgive me," Kasengo cried. "I am not dead. I deceived you, but I beg for your mercy. Allow me to play once more for you." The king looked down at Kasengo with a mixture of disappointment and resolve. Kasengo, the king said calmly, a man who fakes his death is as good as dead. In this kingdom, the dead do not speak, nor do they play the flute. Cheta is now our flute king, and you must live with the consequences of your pride. With those words, Kasengo was dismissed from the palace. He wandered the kingdom, a shadow of his former self, haunted by the sound of Cheta's flute, which echoed through the land as a reminder of the humility and talent that had replaced his arrogance. From that day forward, the people of Bantwe told the tale of Kasengo and Cheta, a story passed down through generations as a lesson in humility and the dangers of pride. And so, little Cheta's name was remembered as the boy who became the Flute King, while Kasengo's name faded into the whispers of the past. A cautionary tale of what is lost when pride takes hold. I am Zena. I pledged to bring you more interesting life stories as you stay tuned to my channel at Zena Stories. Thanks for watching. Give this story a like and please subscribe to encourage me. Stay blessed.
Senna, bringing you amazing life stories. Stay tuned.